one day away. We got one day before Bound for Glory. We got this show leading into Bound for Glory on a Friday. The title of this video makes it sound like, oh, Seek and Destroy. That means this was a great show. No. You know what this show reminds me of? Guys, understand this. Anyone who's going to watch this video that has known me for many years or is just seeing me for the first time, you're going to learn a lesson. I am not the type of person that will tell you something that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what it is. Whether you believe my point of view, that's your choice. You can always disagree with me. There's nothing wrong with it. You can give me a reason why I'm wrong. You can give me a reason why I'm right. But I've always said this. I am not like all those other reviewers who do the shit. Look, JD and Just Alex, as I told you before with AEW, if you saw my Gump report, I know not many people even see it, but if you see my Gump report on what I think about what happened to Andrade and Sammy Guevara, I said for more than 2 years that the women's division was not right. I said for more than 2 years that they're overloading their roster. And what did Just Alex and JD say? Doesn't make a difference. Let's hire them. I've said it clearly. You hired too many people. You don't got enough. There's going to be issues. And look what's going there. Now even they have to admit, hey, there's something wrong here. You know what? Tony, start getting rid of people. If Andrade doesn't want to be there, just get rid of his ass. If Malachi Black don't want to be there, get rid of his ass. Now they're saying that. And I've been saying stuff like this for more than 2 years. The roster is not working right. There are too many people. It's going to be an issue. I've always been honest, straight with you. I may have not always been correct, and I admit that. But I've always told you what you deserve to hear, the truth. Here's the truth. We got this show before Bound for Glory. Does it give interest? To a certain extent, yes. But it gives a huge amount of filler. Filler. Say it again. Filler. And understand this. Understand, people who are going to probably say something like, you really don't like Impact. Why don't you stop watching it? Shut up. I'm not. I'm one of the few people that is on the internet who has consistently reviewed Impact Wrestling. Not to bash it, but to review it and give it a fair shot. Because I love Impact. I've been doing this for 10 years. Everyone else has turned away from Impact unless it has been what? If it's in a podcast with multiple people adding in not only themselves and another guy or girl, but they also add in AEW, they add in WWE. I'm the only one out of maybe a couple of others, maybe 2 or 3 others, who have any numbers that consistently talk about Impact. So, let's see what we got here. What did we get for the opening? We got Kenny King versus Kaz. Now, both of them are going to be in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, along with many others. Was this a bad match? No. It wasn't. But it really didn't mean anything. You know why? They didn't build up into it. Not because we need to build up into a match. Going to the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, that they never mentioned the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. That they never showed it. Maybe on YouTube, yes. But on the show, did we get any recordings of these guys saying, I'm going to show you that I am the best that will beat everyone in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet? No. What did we get? We got pretty much Mike Bailey getting a vid pack, which was good. I'm glad they did that. Kaz, Frankie Kazarian getting a vid pack. Yes, I'm glad that happened. It needed to happen. Also, Eddie Edwards got a vid pack. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad they got vid packs for this. But, Call Your Shot Gauntlet, did we get a vid pack for that? No. Did we get a video or two on Impact TV? Not BTI, and certainly not on YouTube itself. Maybe we did, but it matters here. So I had no feeling for the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. So once this happened, I didn't really care. Now, we got Mia Yim versus Gazelle Shaw. Now, this had to happen because of the match that's going to happen at Bound for Glory. I would have liked more of Mia Yim interacting with a Mickie James, but they made it very, very limited. Maybe because they couldn't get Mia Yim to record anything with Mickie James because Mickie was busy. Maybe she's busy over in NWA. I don't know. But she's never done any recordings with her. So we've seen it maybe once, her asking her. We get this match, and now we're about to have Bound for Glory. All rush booking. Nothing that has been built up into it. Now, mind you, the build for Mickie James has been okay. I've got no problem with it. But Mia Yim known Mickie James for a decade. The last time they faced each other has been a decade. But they've known about each other for a long time. This is a rematch that is 10 years in the making. Did they make it mean something? No. So why do I care? Now, I do care, but if I was someone watching this, it's just a match with the stipulation that if Mickie loses, she's gone. How does this help Mia Yim? It doesn't. I'm just saying. Now, we got the match that was the most funniest out of it all. We got Macklin versus Moose, where Sammy is the special guest referee. Now, I know there's at least one of my subscribers going to say, what about Taya and Jessica versus the Swingettes? I will get to them in a minute, but this is funnier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I know you're going to wish that this was funnier, but it's not. I'm sorry. It's not. This was funnier. When you see this match, Sammy had already got in his sadistic mind that he's going to fuck them both over, but still do his job at the same time. He let them hit each other all they wanted. He let them kick each other all they wanted. He gave them time outside the ring. He made sure that when it's time to start doing his job and counting, he gave them plenty of time to get up. So in the end, it was more funnier than what happened with the Swingettes and Taya and Rosemary. I know I'm saying Rosemary there, but I know I'm going to explain it. When you see this, you enjoy this much more. And in the end, you got Sammy screwing over Macklin. You got Sammy screwing over Moose. And yes, Macklin started bleeding. And mind you, I don't know if it was necessary for the bleeding. Before the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, I think it wasn't necessary. Now, mind you, he could have been hurt on purpose, but you didn't need it if it had to be done. I don't remember it. But I enjoyed that. Now, Brian Myers is looking for the open challenge on the kickoff show. The only reason I'm mentioning it is because it may be someone new coming in that will get that shot at the Digital Media Championship. It may even be Matt Cardona. You never know. I don't think so, but this is what we got. Now, let's get to Taya, to Jessica, and the Swingettes. Was it funny to see the Swingettes come down? It was fine. Seeing the little cart that Swinger comes down in, similar to what happened with Andre the Giant, funny. We know this. But does it mean anything? This is what my friend, the guy that always talks about Johnny Swinger and Ziggy Dice, who he loves so much, that he believes are so funny and they're so hilarious. Dude, they are nothing. And that hurts me. You should be angry as well. They barely do anything with Johnny Swinger. They don't do nothing with Ziggy Dice unless he's with Johnny. Yes, they're both funny. But when do they use them correctly? Think about this for a minute. And I know you're going to leave a comment saying, I'm so glad they were on the show. Dude, they deserve better than what they're getting. And you should be upset about this. Because was this about Swinger? Was this about Ziggy Dice? No. This was about Jessica and Taya Valkyrie getting their match against Deanna as well as Chelsea Green. They meant nothing. The Swingettes meant nothing No matter if they wrestle on BTI or not, means nothing. They should be something. When it comes to pro wrestling, guys, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to pro wrestling, you have clearly a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can have something good in the beginning of a show, something good in the middle, something good in the end. You can have pro wrestling, you can have segments, you can have feuds, and you can have comedy. If you think comedy shouldn't be in pro wrestling, then you shouldn't be watching pro wrestling. Because theatrics is part of the pantomime, if you're going to call it like that, of pro wrestling. Because if it isn't there, you're looking at nothing but amateur wrestling with no fun. If you're like that, watch the damn Olympics, watch college amateur wrestling, as well as high school amateur wrestling. Don't watch pro wrestling. Because you get comedy in there. There are characters. And the way Impact is booking these characters is nothing. They don't give them any segments. They don't build it up to make it mean something. They don't give them time to show their stick. My friend, you know who you are. The one from Australia. I believe you're from Australia. You're a cool guy. But you can't be happy about this. You should be angry. At least pissed that you barely saw anything other than, yeah, that's not enough. I'm sorry. It's not. We get this set up only for them. For Taya Valkyrie, as well as Jessica. And then Rosemary does absolutely nothing but stand out there and look like she's annoyed. This felt empty. It was so sad. Because Taya tried to make it entertaining. Jessica tried to make it entertaining. The Swingettes sold their asses off the best of their ability. I'm just saying. Now, Alex Shelley versus Matt Taman. Guys, I hate this. I hate it. You're telling everyone on your show, and this is Tom Philham. I believe Tom Philham. I always forget his last name. Tom pretty much says this will be the first time that OGK will be going up against the Motor City Machine Guns. So why are you letting them be in a singles match? Why are you taking away the mystique of what they both can do? Why wouldn't you just leave it for Bound for Glory and let them have a backstage segment or something? A brawl, a fight, a talk, something. Why would you do what the WWE under Vince did all the freaking time? You don't have any idea what to fill in between your show? Put a tag match in. And if you can't do the tag match because you've done it multiple times or you're about to do a pay-per-view, what do? You take one of each of the tag teams and throw them into a damn match, which you shouldn't have done in the damn first place. It is overdone. What a waste. You could have left this alone. You could have left Matt Taman by himself. You could have left Alex Shelley by himself. No. You had to show pretty much what either one of them can do. You take away the mystique of it. And in the end, Alex Shelley loses. Which, it doesn't matter who won, who lost. They both lost. It is sad to see this. And here's another thing. You have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. You have women that are going to be in it. You got men that are going to be in it. You had a Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry segment in the back where he gets a spot in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. But you had in that same segment not one, not two. You got three gut check winners. 3 gut check winners. Where we've seen almost nothing of them. The one from 2020 we barely saw. The one from 2022 we've only seen him maybe once. And I don't even know about the Shogun. I don't remember him because I haven't seen it. And it's not because I'm not an insider. It doesn't matter being an insider or not in Impact Wrestling. When do you show them on TV? When have they been on the main show? Guess what? They haven't. This is the very first time you actually throw them on the show. And if they went through gut check, what the hell are you doing with them? What is the point of doing a gut check type of thing, and they are doing nothing. They're not even in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. You didn't even do anything to set up the guys going to the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, like letting these guys be there. Now, I know I'm using the wrong name for the show. I know I'm using, gut check. That's gut check. Not tough enough. You know what I mean. It was dumb. You showed 3 of them, and you've done nothing with them. Who says now that they need to hire talent if they're not even using talent that was in a show that they set up themselves, or a show they set up themselves, leaving it only on YouTube that you got to be an ultimate insider to see. And then when it's all said and done, the 2020 guy never was used, and now possibly both the 2022 guys are finally being shown. And if I remember correctly, Gut Check ended months ago. If you got some way to justify this, explain it to me, because I don't get it. This is not about if you're an ultimate insider. You got 3 people that went through Gut Check. Why are they not being shown on Impact TV except for one that was weeks ago? One of them. Okay, final thing we're going to talk about. Well, actually, one more thing before that. If you're noticing there's no cameras shots in here, they're not going to be, because the camera work was atrocious. This again. This again. Ass shots as well. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. Impact Wrestling doesn't deserve it. Whoever is telling the cameraman to zoom away, they're so stupid. Whoever's telling the cameraman to zoom in so much. When you saw the Kenny King match, and Kenny King nailed a Kaz, what did they do? Did they switch to the cameramen that were on the sides of the ring so you can see Kaz on the floor? No, they had the camera pointed at Kenny King's freaking back for 3 to 5 seconds. For no reason other than they're so damn sloppy. Now, the title of the show, the title of this video, about the show, the title of, you see I'm angry, the title of this video, She Speaks and She Destroys. We got the contract signing for Marsha as well as Jordan. Marsha comes out as Marsha, nothing really substantial. Jordan comes out as Jordan. Yes, you can say Jordan is like shoulders, here's her head, here's the shoulders, and she's like this. Dink, dink, dink. Even though she's built like a brick, she's still a good-looking brick. Here's where it gets interesting. We got Jordan trying to make this segment work, not Marsha. Jordan had to make this segment work, not Marsha. Now, I know I'm skipping, and I'm going to talk about Killer Kelly in a minute. And anyone who's going to try and justify me saying this and saying, you don't understand about Killer Kelly. I do. You'll understand in a minute. But it is Jordan Grace who's trying to make this segment work. Marsha should have spoke, counting if she can speak. Not that she can't speak English. It's about, can she carry a segment? What did we get here? I don't know if she can. You had to let Jordan talk for the majority of it. And understandable, it was necessary because she is the first knockout Triple Crown winner. She's the first. She's got the Digital Media Championship before. She got the tag titles as well as the Knockouts title. She's won it. She's earned it. She's been consistent with Impact Wrestling for years. She's earned her stripes. She's been respected. She needed to get that. And I kind of wish they would, like Tom as well as Matt, I wish both of our announcers would announce that more often, that Jordan Grace is a Triple Crown winner. And they haven't. She had to say it when she shouldn't have to say it. That's the commentator's job. But she did it, and it's understandable. But once she finished talking, after she signs her contract, because Marsha signed it first, That was what Scott did. He gave her the title. No, not give her a title. He gave her the contract sign. You see, I'm getting angry. And then she signs it, and she looked like she was going to talk. She doesn't. After Jordan signs it, then she asks for a mic, talks in Russian, and Jordan says, "What are you saying?" She says, "Marsha's going to kill you." Flips the table onto Jordan, beats her up. Jordan does some type of defense. She tried to do a muscle buster on the table that was partially light up, but Marsha stopped her and threw her through the table, and Marsha licking her lips, happy, holding the title up. And I do believe I got that shot. That would be for the thumbnail. Now, was this segment effective for Marsha? If you're trying to do the strong silent type for Marsha because Scott had to say it, oh, you're like the strong, not too talking. Oh, no, you're kind of like the strong silent type. Oh, no, actually, he said, you're a person with few words. Oh, no, you're a person with no words. He had to do that. He shouldn't have to do it. The way she had been booked should have covered that. But guess what? Since Marsha has destroyed people from the outside, as well as a couple of women here, and you've never barely seen her in the back, as I've said before when it came to Goldberg in the 90s was Goldberg, not just because he destroyed everybody, but he was seen in the back. He may not talk much or at all, but they made sure that ever he did speak, it was important, and when they needed to show him, he was there. Marsha has not been there. So Scott having to say that she's a person with few words, oh, no words, shows how weak her booking is. And I know that many of you are going to say that people were cheering for her. I understand it, but that's because of her indie work. If you look at her clear booking in this company, it's been trash. Trash. So when I look at this match that's coming up between her and Jordynne Grace, do I actually believe Jordynne's going to job here? No. Will she job? There's a very strong possibility she will. But guess what? If she jobs to a Marsha Samovich, do you actually believe Marsha is going to be treated correctly? No. This is what people are not going to admit. They're going to say, anyone who's seen this Impact review, they're going to say, oh, Marsha looks great. This is going to be wonderful. You're not thinking long term, are you? When you look at Marsha Samovich, do you actually see somebody Impact is going to push correctly? No. She may be a monster, but that doesn't mean anything. Even Samoa Joe, who was booked like a monster and didn't talk much, looked like and felt like a monster because they showed him as a monster, not just when he was in the ring, but also in the back when he wasn't wrestling. Marsha has none of that. So when you look at Killer Kelly, her match against Tasha Steelz is a more important match than Marsha and Jordynne Grace, because it's not just because she's talked. It's that they've shown her in the back as well as in the ring. They've shown her as someone that is crazy but dangerous. And if anybody says, well, of course she's so important because she's been there longer. No, she hasn't. Because if she had, she would have been here from 2020. Not talking 19. Just because she was hired in 19 doesn't mean they wouldn't have brought her in 2020. They didn't. She could have been brought in 2020. They could have built her up like they did now. And the beginning of 2020, I believe that's when she was supposed to come in. But that didn't happen because she got injured and the pandemic happened at the same time. I believe she got injured. And then the pandemic happened and she wasn't shown until this year. 2 years almost. Almost 2 years cold. But guess what? Even though it's almost 2 years cold, she's more important than Marsha because they booked her better. They showed her in the back. They gave her real vignettes, unlike Marsha that has only had maybe one. And it's just been the same one, and then they just let her destroy. Marsha is nothing. And here's the kicker. If she does win, will I care about Marsha? No. Because just like what happened with Tessa Blanchard, they didn't book her correctly. Tessa, as much as nobody wants to hear, was booked incorrectly. That doesn't mean she didn't bust her ass trying to get it over. She did. And in the end, even though she was so well over because she worked so hard to try and make it work, she screwed over Impact and they had to fire her ass. Now we got Marsha. Marsha, we don't know how long she's going to stay. Maybe she'll stay beyond Bound for Glory. Maybe. It counts on how long her contract is. Is it a year contract? Is it a 9-month contract? I don't know, and I don't want to know. All I know is that when she goes into Bound for Glory, this must work. They got to do something with her afterward. It's not about her winning. Technically speaking, she needs to win. Because if they don't let her win this, if Marsha Slamovich does not win, guess what? She's shit. She's shit. And guess what they'll probably do to make up for it? They'll have her win on a regular Impact TV. Not Impact Plus. Impact TV. That shows that she's shit. Because if they're not willing to give it to her on Bound for Glory, and they're not going to give it to an Impact Plus show, and they let her win on an Impact show, that shows they had no confidence in Marsha Slamovich. Give me a reason why I'm wrong. And I hope you enjoyed this review. Please give me a comment and maybe a couple of likes. I will hopefully, because I am going to do it. But you never know. I will be doing my Bound for Glory review. I will not be doing SmackDown. I will not be doing Rampage. I will be doing Bound for Glory and then Extreme Rules Saturday. That counts on my throat. My throat is still messed up. That's the reason why I said maybe. I have to be honest. My throat is still messed up. But I'm going to try and power through it. Peace.